For a more we be a Aquaba Shonko so at the Aba a Ghana politics a avenue so. The best show be as I feel no which media case way so I'll be like you subscribe to the channel and send a political trending news be a echo tree call remember be an one so what the penny say for native for money bedujuma Namuna Jumedia boom any call political highway so na semi bre any as one even in sense see A plus and collaboration or be expose a NPP for almost Ahmed Suale who be in case Osaka actually mubium says see I know akoye say anasa remi yaw ene NPP for ntokwa kitten bia omunya ene koma sa ewo to phone anasa Ahmed Suale ewo na eba aye obobo Bawumia din ebo Kennedy upon so din a o chema mubium says see I demand ho kwan so osabi prove evidence enya asem keto akora busuan for yenjo bibira remember so yen say mumbre so pie be shrem say mo be me yakọ na ye de aso ene yen yakọ akotie eye de A plus be ka fa eye san Akuffo yo me do bibia ase.
That is now why yes. Yeah, now you scapegoat. Then I say for because we need to pin it on somebody. But the reality is that we say, baby, honorize you through what will be the interest on the part of this Akroma or no or more Brïbě or Akuffo. See, even yes, Akroma, it means he was contracted
by somebody.
By somebody. Is the state not interested in finding who contracted that person? What I say?
Yeah.
So I think that our approach to investigating criminal cases in this particular country, is a setback for me. And I think that we need to enhance the methodology by employing some of these detailed forensic analysis based on DNA evidence. Because the punishments coming after some of these things are very consequential and life-changing. And we must employ all the sophisticated, we are available in recent times among for the year because America knows you charge Obi with crime.
Yeah.
The next thing has to remember a capital punishment.
Yes.
And either letter injection or they hang you. And an electric chair, they do it. But nobody wants to kill an innocent person. That is why the investigative process must be clean, must be, your friend saying very adequate enough. Say evidence now when you are quite substantial.
Yeah.
A rising above reproach and a rebuttal be a nipano on in a year. So when you are punishing the person, then say the scales of justice has actually been, balanced. When anyway, so I think that Attorney General has discontinued the case, the suspect, but the case cannot be discontinued.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure he has discontinued the case. That is the reason why we need to delve the Ahmed Suale case. We social media and some there are a lot of evidence around.
Yeah.
We need to invite people, including Kennedy Japan and others. Over the years or more, we need to do all these things just to ensure, exactly. And the very moment they don't arrest the person on the spot, and nobody will find the killer. You understand? So another day, politics na or minor team obi ku okunkwa. Na MP kura or shane them or table science or security one of them. Obi timi kofuru kokuna. How much more ordinary person one na baby? What I say? And some of these cases are koso obakaya abra Ghana yes san sika.
Yeah.
Before time I say sika. There was this gentleman at is it Bank of Ghana or GBC, a friend Roko from Pong. I'm told at the time he was resisting the processing and so forth. Oh, you know, they name the Yakobo to Okuno. Besin there, find the Kuno, Yahuni Pakro. And the most of these high profile cases now also Akroma a true contract killing and as a phone, Bakukra, you are yet to me, Anya a closure. I'm a family who say, as soon as in a year, Yacheno, and Timoma come and Tomu Yam, and our cases now build it up. So, me. This particular thing, actually, how unprepared the state is.
Yeah.
How your friends saying, on top of some of these criminal issues. I am urging the Attorney General say on collaborating with the security agencies. Now on providing all the necessary resources. We need a forensic lab. I don't know. I think they have, but they don't have it. They don't have enough. I don't know even as at now the state the DNA database of all Ghanaians, because yeah, sometimes to know that how far we are forensic analysis now who the person DNA on the Ghana. When you run it through the system, then the person will pop up. You see, you know, innovation, technology, and as for about to make some of these things very easy for us. Why are we not employing? Because police for now, almost they are not magicians. So, bet to me, Atenase who say, as soon as in the kuno, pieces of evidence I believe in your wake, you know, that is what they piece together to arrive at some of these conclusions. So, for me, I think that we cannot just stop here. Yes, you grow as a country. We need to grow because some arena where you dive into where people are being killed, contract killing, the political opponents. Yakobono, yashi way down. Yes, you are threatening a man for no. We need to go past this stage and begin to set the rules. Say, do not deal with the state, our resources, because we are a smart criminal. We can sit in this particular country and kill and get away. I don't know media news. Papa be what tamale.
Yeah.
Also, no, oku abodam for. Oku security men and as a forum. And one person, yes, we know who ye. Waku nipa mako more than 15. Akroma. So this is a serial killer living somewhere in the north. Oh,
and I'm social media.
Yes, or enough.
Wow.
Nijuma odinu no. Who is one na abonti o foul no do ko nwura mu oku no wasiu. Waku nipa more than your friend saying 15 Akroma say. Oh, the case is in court. No bad news man for a can. So you see, some of these there are people who are demented. There are people who are issues, and are your psychopaths. Akroma say, even serial killers and as well. There are people who take pleasure when they inflict pain on others.
Yes.
And those psychological states and as well. So you see, we must begin to do our things properly. And yes, I as soon as you kokuno state into me. Now, remember, a criminal who says state is incapacitated in this regard to do proper investigation to ascertain why yes, don't you think there will be enough motivation for me to do? And people will be contracting people to kill people more because I'm a Suale Kwana Yakuna Yangui. A MP sitting MP na Yakuna Besina Yangu. Now, wow, Tom Banti will jump. And now, wow, we are ordinary person. One am no. One will be Kuama will be a question. What I say? So I think that in this particular case, it's a wake up call. Now you're making sure, say, I'm a Suale Nipana Yatsin so on a year, no. Evidence in the money not just a no. But the question is, because we cannot sit here and say he was not killed. That is why I'm saying that Attorney General cannot close the case. Now, he can discharge the accused. Now, you here embody investigate because a new government has come. They can gather all the past evidence, the various peoples involved, and begin to build a new case and find who the murderer is. Because at what point in time there is a murderer? Somebody actually pulled the trigger. The question is who pulled the trigger? We need to find. If the state, we cannot find that, then we are giving people muscles to go ahead and do some of these things. So I think that Attorney General and the team have a lot to do. This Suale case cannot go scot-free.
And I even remember, say, A+ saw no crowd evidence.
Exactly.
I think he went to the CID.
Yes, and Canada, Japan has stretching so at some point in time, also may be no more. Just exactly. And then at some point in time, and some more money Anas and talk on the buy and some and some point in time he was also accusing Anas and then as a forum. So you see, these are key witnesses. This time no, the security need to bundle them together. What I say? Now evidence be on one and same be on you get it from them and you begin to build the case because you see, because the government, past government, not only interested in they can build a case. Knowing that this particular case is going to fail, then we close the case because very often that is what we do. But I am telling the states that this Suale case is one case that can never be closed. We need to find who killed him. Even if it take 20 years, we need to pursue and make sure say we bring the killers of this young man to justice. And yes, sir, every single person fighting corruption in this country, you are in danger because this thing is an attempt to cow people into submission.
Sure.
It's a desperate attempt to cow people into submission. Sabaya, issue no cause of miawano because you don't know the target will be put at your back. We must begin to, do certain things right and make sure say some of these things don't go scot-free. A Suale issue is a global issue. Obia is watching, and if we are unable to solve this case, we will be embarrassed in the eyes of the world because this is a guy, you may disagree with their methodology, and as obeti when you run a flaws and as a forum. But the fact of the matter is corruption and your new market, you be corruption, yeah, corruption is a secret enterprise. So you need to go covertly to unearth it. And that is some of the strategies that they employ to do. And some of this stealth operation, even the FBI, the CIA, and other security agencies, they employ some of these stealth operations to unravel crime. Because crime in an open market, you need to go undercover. And that is what they were doing. Yes, you may disagree with their methodology, but we were getting results.
I don't know so one yana say wunya.
Because your new market if you are come for the corruption yeah, suma sigda. Na suma sigda one ko suma say better find it out. And that is what put that particular target on his back. And he's not the only person. At some point in time, I'm told Manasseh, let's say you find the Ghana. And some journalists even had to, run away. Because the state became so muzzled up and was ready to unleash terror and mayhem on the individuals almost standing up to the state because of the Niamana Air Council. We must begin to set the record straight. This Suale case, I am urging the state, say it can never be closed. Yes, the accused person, on your guilty, let him go because on will be papa and as a forum. And Ghana, how your prisons are you aware that people are on remand for 5 good years? Yeah.
Don't do a remand no.
Yes. And people have been there for almost like it's nasty. I think we need to.
Yeah, we don't quite say me see yes, about 8 years.
Yes.
I think it did 9 years was 10 years money.
Yeah, because
it's the latter part in I think President Mahama government 2016 January. Ever since Sunday, yes. I'm Akuffo already 8 years. It's a 1 year crime, so it's almost 9 to 10 years.
Exactly. Now, will be the prison. Your friend is saying, Afoko, Ninwe,
Gregory.
Yes.
They to remand the
And do you know why those things happen? The police will accusation, it's based on conjecture, assumptions, and supposition because only concrete facts to connect you. But elsewhere, they have evidence. I have forensic. Forensic kind of fire, yenya DNA ewo so ye match ye no ene na match enti automatically we ya dan eyewa ba ye no ye need those things into no eye umedwene se o na ye
ene de obi ka
ye jama wo kwa ye fa ne say amafo baka say ye nyobi nche no oh yes, and those things happen in the security realm, those things, high profile cases but am robber be terrorized amafo ewo we can get somebody to be that particular person. Yeah, but yeah, do you see a do jail? We are away, baby. Then just to come, some of these things are detailed security where sometimes we don't need to go there. But yeah, the reality is that your criminal justice system, we need to enhance our methodology and make sure, say, we are able to get criminals based on some of this forensic evidence because. On my on your bosom on your baby phone, I can say, I see when you the only thing between boy forensic scientific evidence. So I think that we need to improve on some of these things. Let us get a database.
Yeah.
That database will include everything, including DNA, sample, your friends, a DNA way of LVR, and your conobia kokubia. Suniana, what they carrying it and a ukuna. You pick DNA from Shuniana. At least there are those who will be smart enough to wear, gloves and as a form. But you see, there will always be your friends saying a trace. But you be cry. Oko ura dem hono. Door no or the inside there. A what one share gloves. Oko ura obekunu no share gloves. So you can harvest the DNA from the door. Then you match it against the system. And then you find your killer. You understand? Why can't we do these simple things? I think we need to grow as a country.
All right. The Livingstone. Or say, Ivan, I said, no, can nipa no if you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's true. All right. But as I say, but says don't mention Akuffo and Kennedy Japan names after killing the NP.
And the which is and some more. And some say yeah cinema and I'm a Ghana a serious country and can you hana yawo come on for the jail you so one another president
all right you're brother champion what the suggestion about na ye ya kasa for illegal mining ho President Mahama ni abreko obefa so illegal mining no asie ebetu brother champion say yem banning no 3 months yem banning mining for 3 months.
Yeah,
no, I don't
and I make us a politics and a good deal among for Abimu. And the branch of them bind them mining for 3 months. Now I had
Galam said be jai
3 months. Now China no free buy and also free Burkina and buy. He was a minister of state, a cabinet one. Your friend is saying he was in power for 8 good years. Galam say at the time, no, not to say, and you're so nasty to the extent that it became a national phenomenon. And a crisis. He was busy buying our hotels. Some suggestions never have. That is why I make us say you see you better politics na do baby a baby you can't so many pound for serious be.
Yeah.
Because yes we've been in power in the past so now and even that 3 months pause period no doesn't solve anything. It will not solve anything. 3 months pause no what will you do?
More the other is
even if yes. Oh, yeah, I'm
for 18 months.
18 months, and after 18 months, worse because they were able to push ordinary people from the bush and brought in their very people. And now, Abranti will cast a party here, Sika.
Yeah.
So they make sure that party constituency executive were the people who were pushed into the bush. This particular suggestion is a funny one, and I don't know where he's getting it from. That will not solve it. Mekachro said the last time Mekachro, we need to be very aggressive. Fortunately for us, there is a difference between John Mahama government and Akuffo government. Because the John Mahama government is ready to listen. But Akuffo government wasn't ready.
Yeah.
John Mahama has availed himself to criticisms and then alternatives are for the Beba. That is why he had a particular engagement at the Jubilee House, listening to people. And we cannot sit here and say, bibi. Some proactive measures have been taken so far. And then I can't just call water bodies in for they are all no-go area in for them. There are people who argue, say, state of emergency. Makato say, near man as a way, no. So one yana say even who declare a state of disaster, still people will go to the bush. Now state of emergency, na papers will declare.
The papers, so any grounds or
any grounds. And if I not in the mining this or so we need to, hold the bull, the bull by the horn.
Yeah.
Now you make sure say we implement stringent measures long lasting. You bring impact also. Now some of these stopgap measures na personal na and let us go to the ground. Every single piece of land be an make ubehunu baby be obedient. So Kalam say no ye to know. Obi asase na ye to know. So okona omuni hwa you find the owner. Or hen na dema na you arrest that particular person. And whoever that is involved, again, you obey land enough independence. And again, campaigns now who have been financing some of these things, let us get them and prosecute them. Galam says starting being who penny be a yachina prosecuting even 2 years crowd. Sam cry we or more conum we are no more shas as binum and tramon and Nikra now no pet. But they be there are very people very often here some online here pictures never go social media. I don't know scared to excavator. I think that your method no we need to shift because the financier is somewhere he has a lot of money. And to go site A. Now ko chini pa ni nyina free so do omokwa ono wo sika nti obaba amfo what ba na omo sign to wachi. And why don't you target the person or the sika no ba no? And it's not as if we don't know them. Yeah. We know all of them. So I think the approach to next year vary. God made this approach of chasing a man from the bush. Growing up, around this time na mete yo. Soldier for the muram gidi. Akuffo at the time cried go west. Soldier for ne do mo kogu muram na gold na birimo jeje.
Yeah.
Dodo na jai army na birim to UK. Ebirimo akọ shop na say for more running more business because omo kwagigi gold omo dia ye. And you can read that from the from Wharton report and one other investigations I call so. Now all those well all over in yet because I'm for so much man for gold. So for them it's business. So I think that this time no what we need is a lasting solution. And my character said just like corruption, let us make it a high risk venture. Oh galamse mo akwa ya you know the consequences. Wow, what was say money panel or your henna? Once you know, say the consequences that await you. So it's not just about the person or saying so no. Wow, what they assassin or man no who are better no in committing a crime. and you must be criminally liable. You need to bear some criminal liabilities in this particular stance because we are here. Now, so assassin will be too galam say so. So we need more. The mere fact that we now aware doesn't absolve you of criminal liabilities. You understand?
Yeah.
So state, adopted this particular approach. Now you acquire. Yeah, trust me. So therefore, no, or you or so better more. Na ya nye na ye oh ye cheche amamfo wo nwura me na ya kwakwase chamfan wo she 40 beba because adwuma no mo ye na sika adwuma
yeah
and ono chamfan na wo che no ye sika kakra beba na obesimi atia to foforo de aba what I say so I think we need to and the brand champion na se for no ti na mo kekan making look like say your friend saying nothing is happening. We were in this country, na me mpeko kuba kwa analysis where asemasi ene na ye ko 87 graphic page 3 na so ye say na se for no na basa we don't grow as a country but the reality politics and the comparative analysis sometimes is very very important. You understand? Nipa na wo kan locus pen na wo because we locus standing and then they were fa but you were in power when we were fighting Galamsey you were busy buying your friends Ghana for hotel also na wo sika kwa brigade Ghana no bi anya sika anya so and we sat down and this thing became a cancer infesting your society. Now some measures are being done. Yeah, you may argue say they may not be enough because but I think that we need to come out with proactive measures. I bet me I making sure that very people behind this scheme, which for me is a criminal scheme, no. You bet me I get your more. Now young pass harsher sentences to them. Foreigners no more bano. You more. Sad deportation suggestion there's absolute nonsense. Nobody's going to deport anybody. So China nearby Ghana no be to Galam say na ya China. Faith na Ghana ni suffer no they should equally suffer the same thing because small scale mining crowd there and these foreigners are supposed to get involved. And even the last scale
Yankopon show bibi oje brother hedwumedie we ye do bibi asi hanom ye Ghana politics e happen so uguso a hedwumedie no like share subscribe to the channel no send ya political trending news bia e ko twi ko brema bia no waje pen say busuafo net e fo mo de be djuma na mo de hedwumedie we abom busuafo me njo bibi ran so like share subscribe to the channel no send ya political trending news bia on sa so bit ma ka share ma onwana mo busuafo bia so nsa entumi ka hedwumedie a e di wa ha bi won sen ka ye bi so a be sure so the be comment section no send ya be ya e bitimi adi hu kita hu die aha ene brep mam kwan se me fancy mo nsi makram